Okay, I have notes on the family visits from Love Island UK season 13. We are like a week out, so not much time left, but always enough time for Aiden to fluff up his potential for even getting in the top four. Because I feel like me and maybe a few others were starting to buy into him and Priya, but then you have Jasmine's sister visiting with her mom. She pulls Aiden to chat like she's on the show, and Aiden folds. Just like immediately, it's like, oh my God, somebody else is giving me attention. That's just his MO. And I really, tiny, drinking water. Danny. So I feel like my assessment on maybe why he's the way he is probably true. Like, I don't think it was very healthy for him as an 18-year-old to get with a 40-year-old. I think that kind of messed him up a bit. So, not that we all don't need a little bit of therapy to work out stuff, but I think that right there needs to be addressed because it's affecting everything. Like, I think it's affecting his potential to find happiness and just stick with somebody that he doesn't even know what he wants. Like, it's really sad to see, and you can definitely like make light of it, make jokes about it. Like somebody said, like, oh yeah, something with a post, then of course it's like, yeah, but the bigger picture is like, I don't think he's emotionally developing correctly or healthy. And a lot of us go through it, so I'm not trying to single him out. This is just something that I'm noticing. Like, this needs to be addressed. His mom was making jokes about it, like Jasmine dodged a bullet. Well, if Jasmine dodged a bullet, why would, his sister be an okay candidate? Because he's just going to torture her too with his indecisiveness and his flirtations and just lack of restraint. Like, he's way too eager, and then he's also not respectful, and he's also just a little entitled. That was a hard watch because I was like, really, man, you and Priya were starting to look pretty good. Not that I thought it was believable fully, but I'm like, maybe you guys could be together for, I don't know, a couple months. Who knows? Now I'm really like, oh God. Just as soon as he's out of the villa, like, he might ghost her. I don't know what's going on. So Priya needs to run, as did every girl away from Aiden. She needs to run. Now, Lorenzo, I kind of have a feeling that his aversion to intimacy stems from his parents that are no longer together. I think that kind of killed his belief in the whole thing. Like, he didn't buy into long lasting love because he saw them break up. Because he did make a joke like, wait a second, have you guys rekindled? And they're like, hell no. But they were civil. They were definitely civil. But I could tell like his dad was making like little jabs at his mom, and they handled it very well. Like, but at the same time, I'm like, this is poor Lorenzo. I think he's like, not poor Lorenzo because he's an adult, he can make his own decisions, but I feel for that kind of, because I've been similar. I've really been similar in that, not really the committal type like I have been, but I also haven't been. I've had different styles of relationships because I wasn't healed and I didn't know how to function, and I didn't know how to cultivate a healthy relationship because I didn't really get the example, and I've always wanted to know how to do it. Like, I've had books, I've had my heart open to learning a bunch of different things. Like, I've always like really tried, and I've done a lot of self-reflection, and it wasn't until like this spiritual upheaval and journey that I've been through and healing my nervous system, healing my chakras, because as they say, your body keeps score. So even if you're masking and you're getting on and you're still able to have friends or whatever, you're not necessarily open to real love because you just don't trust a lot of people, and you don't trust the whole, idea of it. Here goes the AC. Sorry. But so yeah, like I like to talk about these things just because from like an experience standpoint, and I went to school for only 2.5 years, but I was going into like the behavioral sciences. Like that's always been my focus, my hyper focus. And I've, you know, my whole life as someone who's been around a lot of dysfunction, I've been a hyperactive observer of patterns. So I have pretty good pattern recognition. I also have just also wanted to like break patterns in my own behavior and in my own life. And so that's really like sent me into like my dark night of the souls, my ego deaths, like surgically going into my heart space and my chakras and figuring out, diagnosing what's the holdup, what's the blockage, or like what's the, because some people don't necessarily believe in blocks, like Shay Pila. She's a really awesome tarot reader. You guys should check her out. She's almost at 100K. Woo, go Shay. But she was talking about she doesn't think that there are actual blocks, but that there can be disruptions. And I'm like, that's fair, because like for your energy to be blocked, then that would actually like be, it would dead off or something. So technically I think she's right. So, but a lot of people use that verbiage like, oh, it's a blockage, you know. I feel like there are, when you learn about energetic cords, they're basically like these invisible to the 3D eye, but there are these, you know, think of like an umbilical cord. Sorry if that's weird, but you know how that tied you to your mother, and not just energy, but like life source, food source, everything, you know. And so think about that kind of invisible energetic shape, how it can be tied to other people, places, things. Like you can have these attachments, unhealthy attachments too, that cause a disruption in the flow from head to toe. Excuse me, confirmation. I'm always burping. I'm basically Fiona, so that's why me and Ellie, like, we rock. I freaking love Ellie. I will always love Ellie. Try not to talk bad about the guy she's with, but I just can't. I can't stand him. I think she deserves so much better, but you know what? That's her choice, and we're just gonna leave it at that. I love Ellie to death, but yeah, with Aiden and Lorenzo, I can totally see a bit of me in them, and I hope that they eventually get the help that they need, because they deserve it, you know, like that. You manifest through your heart space, like I said, whether it's healed or not, that's where you manifest from. And it has an energetic emission. Like if you look at your biofield and your auras and all the things like that, like your human being self is not limited to just what you see. There's this energetic projection that's around you, and it affects everything. So just like how Aiden was talking about, yeah, like she's got aura, and it's like everybody's got aura, dude. Everybody's got aura, but it's the kind of aura that you're interested in. And his aura, I would say, is very much like guarded, and it's lacking of development and self-reflection. And it's hard to do that, honestly, because it's a blow to the ego, and a lot of people are scared to tear their ego up because they don't know what's going to be left. And it's like, you're just going to have a more authentic, wholesome, honest reflection once you do all that kind of excavating of the experiences that have been holding on, that you can let go of, you know. And that's why it's healthy not to have resentment, but understanding and gratitude. Granted, a lot of experiences can just be straight up painful, but when you're able to love yourself and heal yourself through them, then you can also let it go with gratitude, because you're like, you know what, I've learned my lesson, I know what this means, I appreciate that I'm still here, and that I'm able to help others. Like, there's so much purpose in pain. Not that I wish it for anybody, but in order to take the power back, it's turning that pain into purpose. That's why you have really good artists, you know, when they like connect with the flow energy and they just speak from the heart, create from the heart. It moves other people too. It helps heal other people. It helps create movement in other people where there was stagnation or masking or disconnects, you know? So I just wanted to talk about that. Like, I really liked family time. I really liked seeing everybody's family come and love on them and support them. Like, it humanizes these people we've been judging and watching, and they definitely deserve that compassion. Like, I don't want anybody to be like hated on so much that they don't want to be here anymore or anything like that. It should not get to that level. And there's a lot of toxic viewers that are attacking. I don't want to be like that. I think that's unfair. It's just when you see their behaviors hurting others, then you get a little protective, a little defensive, and it's like, you know what? We don't know them like that, so take it with a grain of salt. This is heavily edited. You know, we see like less than an hour of their time out of 24 hours. So it's just, all things can be misconstrued. But I feel like it's been a little more difficult to watch because Ellie's gone, but I really like to see the growth, however slow and steady, in Lorenzo. And you know, it was nice to see like Jasmine and Kevin's families too. It's supportive. Simba's family and Jalista's family, like they all really were like such a joy to watch. But that kind of wholesome, you know, vibe is like really why I watch the UK version. They don't do that in the American. They just like televise, and it's not the same. It's sweet, but it's just not the same effect. So I know they really need it after 8 weeks of isolation. Like, that does a number on your mind. You're not allowed to leave this place. Think about that. Like, it takes some like really strong mental strength or agility. You got to adapt. You've got to exactly lean on the people around you, even if you don't necessarily get along with them or like feel like you're that similar. You have to navigate that and do your best. And that's what these people are doing. They're doing their best. And they're actually really freaking brave for doing it at all. I know a lot of them do it to further their careers, but that doesn't mean they're not humans, and that doesn't mean they're not brave. Like, it's really freaking brave to put yourself out there. So I'm going to be sad yet happy when the season's over because it's a little draining, but happy for them and happy for just change of pace, you know, for everyone. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. What do you guys think?